What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Carolina Auto Direct and we're going to take a look at this 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. So huge shout out to them for providing this truck for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website because they get in a ton of awesome pre-owned inventory. I'll have all their information down in the description below. But the TRD Sport that you see behind me is finished off in cement gray and it has a list price right around $52,000. Well, we're going to start today's review with what powers the Tacoma. Underneath the hood, you'll find the 3.5-liter V6 engine with the Atkinson cycle technology. This model is paired to the 6-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 278 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. It is rear-wheel drive with the 4-wheel drive system, weighs in right around 4,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds up to its top speed of 113 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 21.1 gallons, and you can expect to see around 18 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 127.4 inches. Its overall length is 225.5. It has a width of 75.2, a height of 70.6, and its ground clearance for the stock measurement is 9.4 inches. And the Tacomas also have an approach angle of 31 degrees, a breakover angle of 23.9 degrees, and a departure angle of 29 degrees. And of course those numbers were for the stock height on the Tacoma. As you can tell, this is a lifted truck. I'll get into all the suspension components here in just a sec. We're going to start up front though on this TRD Sport with these headlight housings. So this model has LED headlights, LED DRLs, and LED turn signals. And I really like for the 21-year model, they extended the DRL and the turn signal all the way around, wrapping around in this horseshoe shape around the headlights and the high beams. I think it gives it a very nice look. You'll also notice too that this model has fog lights down in the lower section of the bumper. And then as we work our way to this grille, has a really nice dark finish to it, plenty of cutouts to provide maximum cooling to this engine. And you'll also notice too that the Toyota badge is front and center. This also acts as the forward-facing sensor. So it's really nice how that's incorporated and it doesn't break up the rest of the grille. You'll also notice there's some more cutouts in the lower section of the bumper. For the TRD Sport, this front bumper cover is body colored, which is a really nice touch. And then last up on the hood, this comes with the hood scoop, and there's really nice lines running down the rest of the hood just to tie it in nicely and give it that aggressive, sporty look. As we work our way to the side profile now for this TRD Sport, I'm gonna start off with this lift kit. So this truck has a 6-inch FabTech lift kit. You can see all the front components up underneath, of course, with the differential drop. And to accommodate that lift, we have a really nice set of Toyo MT tires. These are 33 by 12.5 with a 20-inch wheel. Has a really deep dish design to it with an aggressive negative offset to help poke those tires out and give it a great stance. So we have a multi-spoke design to it, finished off in black there, just gives it a great touch against this cement gray. You'll also notice too for the TRD Sports, the fender flares come in body colored as well as the side mirrors. You can see the integrated turn signal. The Tacoma badge has been blacked out as well to match the wheels. And this also has a set of running boards to make it easier to enter and exit this truck. You'll also notice too up top, this does have a sunroof. This particular truck has an aftermarket set of roof racks. You can see the spoiler or wind deflector just in front of that to help direct airflow up and around that. You'll also notice too, this model has some rain guards. We have the matte black vinyl that comes stock on these trucks in between both windows there. And you'll see there's really nice lines running down the side profile. I love this indentation in the lower side skirt, and with the 6-foot bed that this truck has, you can see it extends into that bed area just a little bit. And last up for this Tacoma, you'll see the backup camera, which is nicely integrated into this trim piece. We have the release handle for the tailgate along with Toyota spelled out in it. You'll also notice Tacoma is stamped in the lower section of the tailgate with some really nice indentions just to give it a great look. Of course, we have the taillights and turn signals on both sides. With the TRD Sport, the bumper end caps come in body colored. And you can also see we have the backup sensors nicely integrated into this bumper. And then with the towing hitch right in the center, this has a towing capacity up to around 6,500 pounds. So now it's time to take a look at the interior on this Tacoma. And with the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket, all I need to do is grab the door handle and you can hear it unlock. Where now we can move on to this door panel. We have some really nice material on the armrest. You'll also notice we have all of the window controls. They're automatic up and down for the front. Lock and unlock is just in front of that, along with the side mirror adjustments. You can see chrome on the release handle. This truck also has the 6-speaker JBL audio sound system. And you'll see there's a little bit of storage space in the lower section of the door. And then as we work our way to the interior, you can see Tacoma on the door sill, along with this model having all-weather floor mats. And now we can take a look at these black leather seats, which have a really nice insert running down them. They are heated seats, really nice bolstering support to them. And then down on the side are all of the automatic adjustments. And now once inside with my foot on the brake, it's time to start this up. And looking at this gauge cluster, you'll see over on the left side is the tach and the engine temperature. On the right side is the miles per hour and the fuel gauge. And then right in the middle, we have an LCD screen that shows a lot of information. You can scroll through that using these dials over on the right side of the steering wheel. On the upper section, you can see the outside temperature, which is fixed, as well as the odometer on the lower section. But right now you can see miles per hour as well as distance till empty. We can scroll down and look at average MPG along with your current fuel readout, which is really nice to see. There's your trip distance and how long you've been in the vehicle. There's also a time until rest. So if you've been driving this for a long period of time, it will tell you when it's time to pull over and take a break. You can also scroll over and look at the compass, pull up your radio. You can also look at cruise control as well as the lane keeping assist, and you can look at TPMS, and then you can also look at any messages, and then go into your settings. You can look at your lane departure assist and go into a few other technology features to customize them. And then as we work our way to the steering wheel now, you'll see it's completely covered in leather. It's perforated on the sides and solid on the top and the bottom. We have some really nice trim pieces surrounding all of these controls as well. And then also over on the right side, you can see a back button along with a customizable button, or basically your home button. So that will get you back to that center screen there. You'll also notice too, we have the front sensor as well as the lane keeping assist. And then over on the left side, we have tuning and volume for the radio along with Bluetooth and voice commands, and the mode button for the stereo. And then making our way to the left side of the steering wheel, you can see traction control as well as the cargo light. So this is basically the third brake light above the bed. You can turn that on and off when you need to. We have the automatic headlights as well as the power outlet that's located in the bed. You'll see there's one air vent surrounded with a really nice trim piece, and that trim piece actually extends around the center navigation screen. So you'll see that finished off in gray. We have an air vent on both sides. And then looking at this center screen now, there's a lot of information that you can go through. Right now we are on the home screen, so you can see navigation on the right side as well as radio and your phone when that is paired. You'll see you can get to that home button just by pushing up here. We can also go into menu, so you can pull up some different apps. We have the map as well as audio and phone. You have apps to go into as well as projection. This is how you can pair your phone to the system, which is really nice to see. We have shortcuts to audio and map, so I can pull that up in full screen. And then over on the right side, you can see Seek and Track, as well as shortcuts to your phone and different apps. You also have power and volume for the radio on the left side, and then tuning is on the far right. As we work our way below that now, you'll see the heated seat controls for driver and passenger, as well as the climate control screen right in the middle. So we have all of those laid out very nicely with these rotary dials. We have temperature for driver and passenger, fan speed is right in the center, and a few other controls around that. So it's really nice to be able to monitor that separate from the upper screen. You'll also notice that this model has heated side mirrors. We have the four-wheel drive selector, so of course two-wheel, 4 high and 4 low, and the engine start stop button. And then just below that, you'll see this row of buttons. We have the blind spot monitoring that you can turn on and off, as well as the electronically controlled transmission. So if you are towing with the Tacoma, you can use this. It will help hold the truck in a higher rev, so that way it's not constantly shifting, and it just makes it easier to hold that rev when you have a heavier load. You'll see the parking sensors you can turn on and off, as well as being able to slide open and close the rear glass. There's a USB just next to that, along with a 12 volt, and then we have the wireless charging pad, so you can turn that on and off. Place your phone here. It's a great spot to hold it and charge it at the same time. You'll notice there are 2 cup holders just behind that. And then as we work our way to the shifter now, with my foot on the brake, we can put the truck into reverse. You'll see the backup camera up here with the guidelines. Very good graphics on that screen to see what's behind you. You can go all the way down and shift using the shifter too. So if you're towing or if you're off-road and you need to hold a gear, you can easily do that. You'll also notice this truck has a manual parking brake with a cup holder and a little bit of storage space in front of that. And then as we work our way to the center armrest now, you'll see there's a good amount of storage for anything you'd like to place in there. There's also 2 USB ports down below, and you can see this cutout here. So if you are charging any electronics, you have a nice place to put them through into the storage bins in front of that, which makes it very nice to see. As we work our way to the glove box now, you'll see there's plenty of room for all that information. You'll also notice Tacoma is stamped on it, which is a really nice touch to see. We'll take one last look at these black leather seats. And as I mentioned earlier, this does have a sunroof, so we can open up that sunshade. We have those controls for the sunroof up in the top here, as well as the dome lights. And you can also see there's a sunglass holder too. As we jump into the back seat now for the Tacoma, I do own a Tacoma, so I have some experience in the back seat. It's not the largest, but at 5'10", I have the front seat set at my height. You can see I have a few inches for my knees and around 2 or 3 inches above my head. These seats are not really upright, so they have a little bit of a recline to them just to make it a little bit more comfortable. So it is a tight area, but it is usable for full-size adults. You'll notice right in the middle we have 2 cup holders as well as a little bit of storage space behind the passenger seat. You'll also notice too that we have some configurations for extra storage in the back. So you can flip up the bottoms where you'll see you have some hidden storage space. You can throw some tools or any other accessories that you might have. You can hide them up underneath the seat, which is really nice to see. And you can fold down both of these seats completely flat. So if you have some items and you don't want to damage the leather seats, folding them down, you have some hard backing to these seats so you can put in any items you'd like to. And then last up, we'll take a quick look at the bed for this truck. It also has the soft open tailgate. So if I grab the latch there, you'll see it automatically open up, which is a really nice feature. This does have the 6-foot bed, as I mentioned earlier, so plenty of room for any items you have to place back here. We have some tie-down hooks. There's channels on both sides where you can place more tie-down hooks, or you can put in bed accessories like this bed rack that you can see. Over on the passenger side, there's a little bit of storage space as well as that 3-prong outlet, which I mentioned earlier. So definitely plenty of room. We do have a plastic bed, but you can still put a lot of items in here. And the tailgate is also very lightweight, making it easy to close with one hand. All right, so getting this 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport out on the road now. This is actually the first time I've been behind the wheel of a 3rd gen with a 6-inch lift. I own a 3rd gen, I have a 3-inch lift on mine, and I've reviewed several Tacomas this year, but this is the first one with a 6-inch lift kit, and I've been really excited to see how this drives. And so far, I've put a few miles on it, and it's actually been surprisingly smooth. With the front strut spacers that this model has with the FabTech lift kit, it's riding surprisingly well. It's almost like it's stock. I have no complaints with it. It's not harsh or anything like that. I really like it. It gives it a great stance. We have a pretty large truck here with the 33s. I can see those tires poking out a good 2, maybe 3 inches on both sides. So if that's something that you like, personally, I think that's just right. They poke out just enough to give it that aggressive stance. And for a Tacoma like this, even having the 6-foot bed, I think it gives it some good proportions, having it lifted with these wheels and tires. You can hear the tires slightly. These are mud terrain, so they're going to be a little bit louder than an all-terrain or even the stock tire, of course. But with this lift kit, we're sitting pretty high up. It's a really nice view. And at the same time too, visibility in the Tacomas, they're really great. The glass is pretty large in all directions, not a really large cab on the inside. So we have that rear glass right there. I can easily look over my left shoulder, look over my right shoulder. But aside from that, let's talk about what this truck has to offer. For 2021, we have this larger screen right in the middle. All of those settings that I've already gone over. I think it's a really nice layout. I like the physical buttons on both sides. And I love the interior. It's kind of basic, but it has some nice materials at the same time. I love this trim piece that surrounds the nav too. We're gonna do a U-turn with this 6-inch lift here, or 6-inch lift kit here. And we just went off the road slightly, but we'll give it a little bit of gas now, see what these 33s can do. Not doing anything too crazy. We got a little bit high in the RPM there, but we're up to speed just like that. This truck also has the pedal commander installed. I do have a pedal commander on my Tacoma, so if you'd like to see more in depth on how that works, how you install it, I'll have that video down in the description below. It basically just helps with the throttle response in the Tacoma. The Tacoma doesn't have the best throttle response. You kind of have to push it a little bit for the truck to engage. The pedal commander has nothing to do with the gearing or anything like that. It's just the response that you have in this pedal here. I think it's something that has been a little bit helpful, and it's just not a 0 to 60 truck. There's not a lot of performance in the Tacoma, but I wouldn't trade it for any other mid-size truck. I love the Tacoma. I don't really care that the power is not quite there. I do see that maybe it could have a little bit more horsepower like some of the competitors. But honestly, I love the Tacoma. There's not a whole lot that I dislike about this truck, to be honest. I've had my truck for just over 3 years now. So if you're not looking to go to that next level, so that full-size truck, this is a great mid-size truck to get. You still have some towing capabilities, not as much room in the back seats as a full-size truck. So if you don't need all that extra room, they're still versatile. I can fit in the back seat of my own truck if I needed to. We have the 6-foot bed on this truck. I know there's a debate between the 5-foot or the 6-foot. I have the 5-foot on my truck. I do like taking my truck off-road, so that gives me a little bit better of a departure angle. 6-foot bed is great if you're putting a lot more items in it, but the 5-foot is still usable, and I use it for dirt bikes, towing other items like that. It's very usable at the same time. But aside from that, for the on-road performance, I already went over what it's like with the 6-inch lift, but on the stock Tacomas, they do have a pretty good ride to them. I will say they are on the softer side, so they kind of float a little bit. They will absorb bumps, especially out on the highway, much better. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk-around review and test drive, getting behind the wheel of this 2021 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this truck for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description below. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video.